What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our FA Cup preview here on Anfield Agenda. The Reds taking on Barnsley at Anfield in a 7:45 p.m. kickoff, which means that we'll be live here from 6:30 on Monday to take you through the game. Of course, we expect to get through to the fourth round, but who knows what type of team that Arna is going to put out for this one. We'll take you through as best as we can the injury update. We'll give you the referees for the game and the assistants. Of course, we'll give you a bit of a fact file, or I should say the form of Barnsley coming into this one, as well as our brief history against them. But most importantly, I'll try my best to guide you through an 11 and a score prediction. I'm not going to lie, folks, of all the starting 11 predictions I've done over the last few months, this one is probably the most difficult to come up with because we are the walking wounded at the minute. We don't know exactly who's going to be back and available. So I've done my best to put together an 11 that I think can get the job done. But of course, it's going to be interesting to see how strong the bench is and how much risk Arna takes. We know there was no league game apart from this one until the following weekend. So plenty of time between the Reds' last league game against Arsenal and the next league game coming up, 9 days between them. So how strong he goes, well, that remains to be seen. With regards to an injury update, as I sit here, still don't know the full extent of the Conor Bradley situation, although we do think he's going to be out for a while. Don't think the manager is going to risk Hugo Ekitike in this one, although you may see him on the bench just in case. We know Isak is ruled out. That's it, I think, as far as we have. Oh, Endo is probably the other one who is going to be unavailable for this one, which made it even more difficult, in all honesty, to come up with a potential 11. These are usually the type of games where we'll be able to get Endo in at either the central defensive midfield role or at centre back, but of course couldn't do that this time. So let's start off with having a little look at the officials for the game. Then we'll take a look at their form coming into it, as well as our brief history against them. So let's have a look firstly at the officials for the game. The referee, as you can see, is Farai Halam. Assistant referees are going to be Alistair Nelson and Hristo Karavanov. And then fourth official is going to be Ruben Ricardo. Just a reminder for this one, ladies and gentlemen, there will be no VAR in this game. So just keep that in mind when you don't see a VAR official there, or when the game is on, more importantly. We're going back to the old school style of play where you can just look to the linesman and see whether you're on or offside. Oh, the joys. I do miss it when we get to these type of games and we realise how simple football used to be. Next up, the head-to-head FA Cup 2008. It was Liverpool 1, Barnsley 2, and we absolutely do not want a repeat of that one, my friends. Do we coming into this one? Premier League all the way back in 1997-98. It was Liverpool 0, Barnsley 1, then Barnsley 2, Liverpool 3. So two very contrasting games there. Losing at home by 1-0 and then going away and beating them by 3-2. Barnsley's recent form coming into this one, as you can see, isn't great. They had a League One draw with Wigan, 1-1. Also League One, they were beaten 2-0 by Lincoln City at home. Then it was Exeter City 3, Barnsley 0, also in League One. Barnsley 2, Mansfield Town 3, and Barnsley 3, Leyton Orient 2 was their last win. So as you can see, a mixed bag for Barnsley coming into this one, but seems to be plenty of goals in a lot of their games. So let's wait and see what happens with this. We will, of course, finish up with the score prediction. Now, the fun part. We tried to go through and pick an 11 for this one. So let's start off, ladies and gents, as I always like to do, with the goalkeeper and the centre-backs. So in goal, we would expect Georgi Mamardashvili to play. Young Pechi did play for the under-21s, but we know Georgi Mamardashvili is Alisson's backup keeper, so we expect him to come in for this one. At centre-back, well, I've had to use one of the 21s that did play the other day. Nallo and Lucky were the two that took to the pitch for the under-21s recently, and we need a left side here to go alongside Joe Gomez, so I've gone for Nallo to come in alongside Joe Gomez as my centre-back pairing. If you have any better ideas or you think you've come up with another option, please feel free to let me know in the comment section, because as I said, this was a hard one to gauge. Now we move into the full-back positions. So what I've gone for here is Calvin Ramsey to come in at right back. Actually, it's an all-Scottish pair of fullbacks. Calvin Ramsey at right back, and then Andy Robertson to come in, give a little bit of experience as well on that left side. You would expect maybe Robbo or Joe Gomez to be the captain for this one as well. So for my back five, it's Georgi Mamardashvili in goal, Calvin Ramsey at right back, Andy Robertson at left back, and a centre-back pairing of Nallo and Gomez. Right, so that's the back line. Now the fun continues as we move into the middle of the park. So here's what I've gone for here. Curtis Jones and Trey Morris-Leone in the deeper line positions. And I really don't know what to expect with regards to a setup from Arna here, formation-wise. So Curtis Jones, Trey Morris-Leone in the deeper line positions, and Alexis McAllister up there in the number 10. I couldn't go through and not have a couple of first-team players in there. It just wasn't possible with the sheer amount of changes that we needed to make. So I was looking at the amount of minutes and stuff, and I think McAllister probably a little bit less minutes in the legs this season than some others. We also know Curtis Jones was an unused substitute against Arsenal. So Leone, Jones and Alexis McAllister now into the wide positions, and then we'll finish up with a striker. This one was straightforward, and this is what we all want to see as well, let's be honest. Young Rio Ngamoa on the left-hand side, as we're excited to see his development, and surely this is a game where he has to start. And on the opposite side, Federico Chiesa. Now, Chiesa could also play through the centre, but for me, we need him on the right-hand side here. Is he in the shop window this month with a potential move? World Cup coming up in the summer. He's not going to get enough game time at Liverpool. There's been some toing and froing about whether he does leave this month or not, but in this game, surely he's got to start. So Rio Ngamoa for me on the left-hand side and Federico Chiesa on the right. Then all that remains is for us to put a striker in. And again, I don't think you're going to be too surprised here. I've gone for Mr. Cody Gakpo through the middle. So my Liverpool 11, ladies and gentlemen, to take on Barnsley is Georgie Mamardashvili in goal, Calvin Ramsey at right back, Andy Robertson at left back, Gomez and Nello as your centre backs, Curtis Jones, Leone and McAllister in the midfield roles, Chiesa on the right, Rio Ngamoa on the left, and then Cody Gakpo through the middle. So that's my 11. If you think you can come up with a more fluid one, please, 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 as I said, do let me know. I'm all ears on this one because I did struggle to put it together. If you'd like to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp as well, don't forget to scan the QR code in the bottom right hand corner, as that's where Connor puts in all the forms to submit the player ratings for our player ratings videos, which of course accompanies all of our match day content here on the channel. So lastly, and probably most importantly, the score prediction. This one really could have been anything, but this is what I've gone for in the end, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I'm going to go for a Liverpool victory, but I have gone for Liverpool to beat Barnsley by 2-0. If you want to push me for goal scorers as well on this one, I'm going to say Rio Ngamoa is going to grab one, and then I'm going to say it, I'm going to be out loud, I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say Joe Gomez gets a header and finally gets that Liverpool goal that we've been all dreaming of for, well, the 10 years or so that he's been at the club. It will be absolutely criminal if Joe Gomez finishes his Liverpool career and he doesn't manage to get himself a goal. So ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for our FA Cup preview. A reminder, of course, that we will be live here for a watch along from 6:30. We'll have our match reaction, we'll have our player ratings video and everything else that you would expect on a match day. Quick reminder as well that you won't see any content from me tomorrow, as I'm going to rest up with a bit of a head cold to try and make sure I'm good to go for Monday night for the game. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for your time as always. Much love, and fingers crossed the Reds can progress to the next round. Talk soon. Bye-bye.